We were standing there with our eyes locked onto the launch pad, and it was looking like a beautiful day. The last launch scrubbed 17 seconds before, so we didn't really believe it was going to happen. We were just trying not to get too excited. We'd been up late in the lab preparing our payload again for the third time. The time was ticking away and it happened. It just happened so quickly. The rocket went up and there were flames. It was kind of this suspended moment of like, oh my God, it's actually happened and our payloads are on that rocket and astronauts are gonna touch them. That's so cool. And then the sound wave hit us and it was just amazing. You could feel it in your bones.
Hi, I'm Dr. Sara Webb. I'm an Associate Dean of Innovation and Engagement here at Swinburne. I get to do everything from astrophysics to space science, including sending things to the International Space Station.
Hi, I'm Dr. Rebecca Allen, and I'm the co-director of Swinburne's Space Technology and Industry Institute.
Hi, I'm Lizzie. I'm an honours student at Swinburne University studying astrobiology, and it is the coolest thing ever.
So sending things to space is challenging for a multitude of reasons.
In Florida, where this rocket launched from, they are prone to lightning storms.
I've always heard people say space is hard, and I appreciate that, but I never quite appreciated it until it was hard again and again and again.
They had to actually hold off on the launch, not once, but twice, and then that actually forced us to have to redo our entire experiment.
Problem solving in real time is one of my favourite things that I get to do as a scientist, and then the reward of actually standing there watching the rocket launch was incredible.
My supervisor Sarah offered if I wanted to help on preparing the next payload of Microgreens to the ISS. So we're looking to find out how the microgreens roots move in response to water in microgravity.
Plants need to know which way is up and which way is down. Will water give enough information to these little sprouts that they can plant and grow nice and healthy?
And so it was really important for our students to understand this, but also it's something that connects deeply with NASA research. As we look to sending humans further and farther than before in space for longer periods of time, one of the most important things that we have to worry about is what they'll eat.
Here at Swinburne, all of our microgravity experiments relate back to students, where we wanted to get students thinking about what it took to design, create, and put something into space. And so we have 2 payloads that had launched, and the other was a very special one for our very new company called LaunchLabz, aiming to put samples that have been to space and back into Australian classrooms and homes.
What Sarah and I quickly realized, though, is that this opportunity, while fantastic for a handful of high school students, could really be transformative.
LaunchLabz is such an exciting story. When Rebecca and Sarah first approached me with the idea, it was a bit different to what we normally commercialise, but Rebecca and Sarah had already done quite a lot of work on space experiment kits for high school students, and they'd done a number of programs through Swinburne already.
So we started LaunchLabz because we thought, well, again, 100, too small. We can do better, we can go bigger. Why not bring space to every classroom in Australia? Through our learnings with our experiments, we've constructed these space experiment kits, which right out of the box allow teachers and students to take a deep dive into our latest experiment, which is microgreens, and test some of the theories that we took up to space with us.
And that really is something that was born out of almost a decade of passion from myself and Rebecca of wanting to educate the next generation.
So we're just about to get to that exciting point when the rubber hits the road and we build kits and sell them. And I'm sure we're looking set for success.
It is nothing cooler than when you get to hold something that has been to space, grow something that has been to space. It really shifts your mindset. It allows you to think about the careers that you might have and think about the future of what we might need as humanity.
And I think that's what's important for people to realize is that while we might see organizations such as NASA lead these incredible, sophisticated missions, Australia has always been right there playing an important role.
It's a really interesting time that we live in, and space is going to be more prevalent and more important than ever. And I really hope that we inspire some future budding space scientists in the making.